You are listening to the Life Coach Business Podcast with Amanda Carlstad, episode number 184. Welcome to the Life Coach Business Podcast, a show for coaches who are ready to up-level their business and take their impact, leadership, and results to a whole new level. If you're ready to start taking powerful action and become the leader your business needs in order to grow and thrive, this show is for you. I'm your host, Amanda Carlstad, certified life and business coach and entrepreneurial leadership expert. Now let's get down to business. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 184. This is the third episode in a three-part series that I've been bringing to you over the last couple of weeks. And I'm really excited to round out this series today to bring you this final episode. And I've been getting so much positive feedback on the first two episodes in this series titled How to Create Extraordinary Growth in Your Coaching Business. And I know that this episode is also going to serve all of you. And I have to say, today's topic is a really important one. We talked in this series, in the first episode, about the importance of identity. And in that episode, I talked about the importance of upgrading and shifting your identity, which is so foundational to success. And then in part two, I talked about the importance of your strategy and the role that that plays in your business growth. And strategy, just like your identity, is absolutely one of the requirements when you're creating extraordinary growth in your business. And in this series, I've been talking about the importance of up-leveling both your identity and your strategy, and especially as coaches, the importance of really working from a strategic place and an inner place with that identity that allows you to be successful. And I want to just emphasize this again because this is so important. And one of the things that I see happen so often is there are so many coaches in the industry who I observe who do struggle in their business. And they struggle typically because of the things we're talking about in this series, because perhaps maybe they're not working from a real strategy, or maybe they don't have any strategy at all. Or I see a lot of times coaches who are working from strategies that really aren't going to set them up for success over the long term. And so sometimes it's the strategy that coaches are working from that can be flawed. And so it's really important to understand that if you want to grow a highly successful business, that you have to have a solid strategy. And with that, it's also just as important to be making the inner shifts, those required inner shifts, to help you really show up and be what we're going to talk about today, the type of leader that your business really needs you to be. And so today I want to talk to you all about this third element that is absolutely required to create extraordinary growth in your business, and that is up-leveling your self-leadership. And like I mentioned, it's becoming the type of leader that your business needs you to be. And I want you to really think about that. So just like the previous two episodes, extraordinary growth and extraordinary outcomes come from, those are the byproduct, those are the result of these things we're talking about. So without cultivating that level of self-leadership and leading in your business and in a way that's actually required to take your business to that extraordinary level, it's going to be really challenging to create the level of results you want when that's not happening. So that's what I want to talk to you all about today. And as I was thinking about today's episode and what I wanted to really bring to all of you, I was recently reminded of the importance of this. For those of you that are longtime listeners, you know that my daughter is a competitive dancer. So we are in the competitive dance world. And recently we just came off of, I would say, the biggest competition of the year. It's a very competitive competition. And even though right now she is 9 years old, I have to tell you all, in this competitive dance world, so much of what I talk about in this podcast, what I bring to you in these episodes, in all of the coaching that I do, so much of this is really centered around high performance topics, right? And high performance and being world class at what you do. And I was recently reminded of it this weekend at this most recent competition, where I have to tell you, I witnessed what I would say the best and the highest level of technique in terms of dancing, in terms of execution in the competitive dance world that I've ever seen. And it was amazing. And so the level of talent, the level of skill, the level of intensity, and the level of confidence that was brought onto that stage from so many dancers was truly incredible. And it totally blew me away. And I want to share this with you because that level of dance, that level of performance that was witnessed by thousands, literally thousands of people this weekend, that level of performance, that level of talent, that level of skill, that level, again, of execution is something that doesn't happen overnight. It's something that is cultivated every day, and it's cultivated with intention. So for a dance, for a performance, there are months, and I know, speaking from experience, that there are, in some cases, almost years for one single dance, for one single performance, a 3 to 5 minute dance performance. Generally, there are several months that go into preparing for that performance. And so whatever performance, whatever level of skill we're talking about, the truth is that there is always a next level. There is always room to expand and grow. Just like with this most recent competition last year, when I look at the competition that in the level of dance, it was phenomenal as well. But this year it was like at a whole new level. So it's interesting because even when you reach certain levels in any type of performance, whether that's a sport, whether that is in business, there is always room to expand, to grow, and become even better at your craft, even better in your art, even better in what it is that you do. And the same is so true in business, because as an entrepreneur, there is a real art, I believe, and a real skill of being an entrepreneur. And I think it's one of the greatest privileges of our time, and truly one of the deepest and richest personal development journeys I think you can experience. And the reason for that is because of what it requires of you. It's what it requires of you in terms of your identity and the shifts that are required in order to create certain results. It's the level of strategy, right? It's that level of execution, just like in a dance performance. It's that level of strategy and execution that is at that highest level. It's your level of personal growth, you as the leader of your business. It's your self-leadership. And the more that you intentionally cultivate that, the more you will grow. And one of the things that I've experienced and observed in this journey is that your business is a reflection of you. It is a reflection of your values. It's a reflection of your strengths. It's a reflection of the expertise that you bring. And I've also learned that you can never outgrow the level of self-leadership that you demonstrate. So your business will never expand and grow beyond your own level of self-leadership as the business owner. So it will never outgrow you as the leader. And I have to tell you, this is great news, because that means that you, as the leader of your business, as you up-level your own self-leadership, as you up-level your leadership in your business, the byproduct of that is growth. And I think something that happens very often that I observe in the coaching industry is that in some cases, I think there can be a sense of entitlement to a degree, a sense of I'm a trained coach or I'm a very highly trained coach and I might be bringing all of these years of experience to the table. The problem is when you're not intentionally implementing and cultivating the things we're talking in this podcast series, what will happen is that when you're not doing that, even very highly trained, very talented coaches, I see this day in and day out, can also very much struggle when it comes to taking their business to the next level, when it comes to growing and scaling their businesses. And the reason is because they're likely not shifting into and up-leveling their identity in the ways that their business is needing them to. Or they might not have that clear strategy or a strategy that will actually allow them to expand to the level that they want. Or maybe what did work for them for the first couple of years of business and got them to a certain point in business, and I see this happen a lot for coaches that make it to that multiple six-figure level, that your strategy to what got you there is not the same strategy that is going to take you to that $1 million level and beyond. And so from a self-leadership perspective, there are certain patterns and ways of being and ways of thinking that in order to expand the business and grow to that next level, it requires a different approach. It requires growth in leadership. It requires growth and stronger self-leadership personally to become a stronger leader to perhaps your team in your business. And so no matter where you're at, I just want to say there's always another level, but you can advance through those levels without first doing that very important work of up-leveling your identity. You can't advance to those next levels without upgrading your strategy. You can't advance to those next levels without demonstrating higher levels of self-leadership. Extraordinary growth in your business will be the byproduct of these three things. And as I was thinking about this episode, I decided to look up the definition of self-leadership. And one of the definitions that I found really struck me and sums up what I believe self-leadership really is in entrepreneurship. And the definition is this: self-leadership is the practice of intentionally influencing your thinking, your feeling, and actions towards your objectives. And I want to repeat that. Self-leadership is the practice of intentionally influencing your thinking, feeling, and actions towards your objections. And obviously, since we're talking about business here, we can replace objectives with goals, right? Or results that you want in your business. One of the things that Peter Drucker says that I love is that when it comes to self-leadership, being a self-leader is to serve as chief, as captain, or as CEO of one's own life. And Brian Tracy, who's another famous author, many of you have probably heard of Brian Tracy, perhaps read some of his books, talks about the importance of setting a goal and then taking full responsibility for that goal. So I want to ask you, as you look at your business today, as you look at where you're at today in relation to your goals, I want you to challenge yourself and really look at, am I intentionally influencing my thinking, my feeling, and my actions towards the goal that I want? I want you to consider if you're approaching all of this in a way, the same way that an elite performer would. Or are you showing up perhaps at 50% of your true capacity? Are you taking partial responsibility instead of that full responsibility for your results? Are you perhaps blaming external factors? I want to challenge you to get really honest about these questions, because we are in a time where the truth is we can justify and place blame outside of ourselves. There's lots of ways to do that. There's right now a very easy excuse on the economy. There is the argument of inflation. I would even say there is, when it comes to building a business for many of us, the idea, the excuse on our schedule and perhaps feeling as if we're overscheduled. And I was thinking a lot about this recently, and I was thinking about this process of growing and scaling a business. And I have to say that despite external forces, and when I consider what those external forces are today, I also believe that they're really, at the same time, they are not excuses. There really is no excuse, because if you have a desire to build a successful coaching business, then there isn't really any excuse that would cause that business not to grow to the level that you desire, unless you made the conscious or even maybe unconscious decision not to grow it to that level. Unless you weren't engaging and being intentionally cultivating the things that I'm bringing to you in this podcast series. Because the truth is this, the level of information that is currently available to us at our fingertips, the level of knowledge that exists in the world when it comes to building this type of business, the level of resources and the level of awareness that exists in the world around coaching, the truth is that there is no lack of information. There is no lack of potential clients. There is no lack of technology in terms of helping you to connect with people all over the world if you want to. And there is such a need in our world for so many coaches to be positively impacting others as possible. And so I do believe that the degree of success that you experience is a choice. It comes down to a decision. It comes down to making a committed decision that requires a higher level of self-leadership, that requires you to cultivate a higher level of skill in terms of your strategy, that requires you to shift into and become that next version of you who is capable of creating the levels of results that you most want. So I want to challenge all of you listening to really assess your level of self-leadership, to really look at where might I be expecting higher levels of performance, or where do I expect to have those high performance results, but where I'm not intentionally directing my thoughts, my emotions, my actions intentionally and consistently towards that which I want. Because skills like self-awareness, decision-making, influence, being empathetic, being able to self-regulate, these are some of the skills that are required to demonstrate self-leadership at those highest levels. We are living in such an exciting time, a time where never before has there been so much potential to create an online business with impact, to create an online business that can create so much time freedom in your life, that can create so much financial freedom. And so I want to challenge you today that where are you in terms of your leadership? Where are you in terms of your leadership in your business? Where are you in terms of your own self-leadership? Are you intentionally directing your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions towards who you're becoming? And are you doing that consistently? Or are you focusing your energy and staying stuck in the past? Here's what I know for each and every one of you listening, whatever it is that you desire to build, whatever level of success that you desire, I want you to know that it's 100% available to you. I want you to know that it's already here. And in order to create that extraordinary growth, it's also going to require that you intentionally cultivate new levels of self-leadership. It's going to require that you operate from solid strategy. It's going to require that you let go of who you might have believed yourself to be and to shift into a new version of you. So wherever you are, know that it's 100% possible. And by integrating the shifts that I brought to you in this series, you will create extraordinary growth in your business. All right, my friends, have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, if you're ready for a real breakthrough in your business and want to grow and scale your business to at least 6 figures or more in annual revenue, I invite you to apply for my exclusive program, The Mastermind, at amandacarlstad.com/the-mastermind. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Life Coach Business Podcast. If you want to learn more about how to build, grow, and scale your business and accelerate your results, visit amandacarlstadcoaching.com.